Welcome to Genesis Nation again, where we are helping you leverage technology so that you can build your dream practice. With me today, again, is my boy Jay Greenstein. Yes, we
What's
are
up?
live. This is not Zoom, so we got recorded cameras on every angles. And really, our discussion today is going to be about how to leverage technology to improve your patient experience, improve revenue, improve your retention, improve compliance, and overall improve efficiency. So you are a wealth of knowledge and experience, and I gotta pull it all out of you so that our audience can get it. So let's start with patient experience. Tell me about how you've and look, technology isn't always just our phones or an app,
Yeah.
but it's things like you've discussed, like Six Sigma. I consider that technology, like intelligence and ways we do that. So if we can expand on, let's look at patient experience first and how you approach that.
Yeah, I think when we think about technology, especially in our businesses and in healthcare in general, and life in general, technology should help us be more efficient. It should help us be more effective. And so if we are leveraging things like automation in our business and we're letting the systems, the computers, the software do the work that humans used to do, we can actually spend more time doing this,
Yes.
which is all about building relationships so that we can create remarkable experiences. So obviously, one of the main pieces of technology that we use in our clinic system is Genesis, right? It's literally like
Shameless,
right there.
shameless,
Shameless plug,
yes.
right? But what I love about Genesis is I love many things about it, but there are a few things that actually create a remarkable experience for our team so we can turn around and create a remarkable experience for our patients. And the first piece is automated workflow.
Yes.
So the fact that our director of operations can turn around and create task checklists so the system manages process and not people frees my people up to actually interact with patients and give them the experience that they want and that they need. So being able to have the system do that for us so that humans are not only makes us create more experiences for our patients, but it actually creates a better experience for our team and is more efficient because humans, as you know, can make mistakes, right? But if this system is doing the same thing the right way every single time, those tasks, those processes that need to get done the right way the first time.
So can you give me an example of like a task workflow instead of just
Sure.
a task? So
Absolutely.
okay, cool.
So a great example of a task checklist is the new patient onboarding task checklist. Now, I don't know every step in the process
Right.
because I'm not in the clinics anymore and I didn't create the task checklist, but there are steps that need to get done. For instance, the doctor needs to make sure that they fill out our narrative form for the patient's either PCP, orthopedist, OB-GYN, podiatrist, whoever that patient's other members of their healthcare team is, so that we send them a narrative. We do initial and final narratives for every single one of our patients.
PI, major med.
It doesn't matter if they have any other
process.
member of their healthcare team. We are communicating with them through the narratives.
Awesome.
We do some other things as well, which we can talk about. But part of the task checklist, the task that fires to the doctor is fill out the narrative form, right? It's a really simple form that we have the doctors fill out and sign, and then it gets faxed to the PCP, the ortho, whoever the other members of the patient's healthcare team are. So the office manager, the operations person, the front desk CA, none of those people have to remember that,
Right.
because the doctor opens up Genesis, they see what their tasks are. Oh, I need to fill out Joe's narrative form. They fill out the form, they complete the task, and it's done. And so again, they're not having to think about these things or remember these things, have stickies on their computer to remember these things.
Or just memory management, which is
Right.
impossible.
Yeah. So it's almost like the task checklists help you build habits,
Yes.
but it also makes sure that you don't forget.
When you're now held accountable.
Oh.
And so it's finding the work for you, assigning the work for you, and then measuring it. And at
Yes.
the end of the day, and this is what we call single point management, which
Yep.
you have heard of
Yep.
already. So that single point management at the end of the day drills down a final number. So you can look at those task checklists and
Yep.
see which employees are getting it done. Are they overworked? Are they undertrained? Are they in the wrong seat?
Yep.
Now, your chief operations officer is looking at that task manager console
Yep.
all the time.
All the
not you
time.
anymore.
That's not me now.
You're the visionary.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive a little bit into visionary stuff now that we're rolling here now,
Sure.
brother. So when you talk about building rapport and relationships, talk to me about that. Like what is the technology or the systems that you put in place with your team and how you're training them to connect with people? Because that's what, yes, this technology piece is critical to run the business part, but what is it that makes you more human? at Kaizo Health?
I think it always starts with the team, Brian. And our philosophy is based on sound data, business data around driving patient experience to the best possible level. That starts with making sure that our team is highly engaged. So if you've ever heard of this book by Joey Coleman, Never Lose a Customer Again, if you don't know this book, audience, buy it, read it.
Never lose.
Buy it, read it, never lose a customer again.
All these cameras.
Yeah, all these cameras. Buy it, read it. But Joey is the world's leading expert in customer experience and retention. And what we know from, again, the business data is that patient satisfaction is statistically linked to employee engagement. So the higher level of employee engagement, the higher level of patient satisfaction there is. And I don't even like using the word patient satisfaction. I like using the word loyalty, because loyalty and patient satisfaction are really different.
Yes.
You can be satisfied but not loyal.
And then walk away.
And then walk away, right?
Good visit and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Loyalty is retention. We'll jump into that next.
That's right. Loyalty is retention. It's raving fans, right?
Yes.
So we always focus, if we're going to drive higher levels of patient satisfaction and loyalty, higher levels of engagement and retention, we're going to start with our team first. So what does that look like? It means using technology to hire the right people. Make sure they're in the right seat, doing the right work in the right way at the right time. So what technology do we use to make sure we've got the right people? We use an applicant tracking system called Hirology. It's like $99 a month. Our entire recruiting process is managed on this platform. Again, technology to make it more efficient and more effective leveraging for our recruiter. And speaking of leverage, we have a part-time recruiter who's amazing. I found her on LinkedIn, right? So it's leveraged assets, and we can get into this discussion around exponential organizations if we want to, but if you're going to grow exponentially, you need to leverage other assets instead of creating them on your own all the time.
Yes.
So we leverage a recruiter. We leverage this technology called Hirology. It's really inexpensive, and our entire recruiting process is managed in that technology. So first, we're getting the right people, and so we have the applicant tracking system. And when we're interviewing based on core values.
Yes.
How well does that person sitting in front of me align with my core values? And we're asking behavioral-based questions. So one of my favorite questions, Brian, and you probably could appreciate this, is like, did you play sports or a musical instrument when you were growing up? And most people say yes, right? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, who was your favorite coach and why? And if the person in front of me said, I love Coach Smith, he let us used to like do bong hits and drink beer before practice. I'm like, all right, this dude's a partier. Maybe it could be fun to hang out with, but okay. And then I might ask, not necessarily right. Yeah. Not necessarily they're going to be the right person, the right seat. If I got somebody in front of me who's like, I love Coach Jones. He made us run wind sprints. He pushed us to the limits of our potential, but we won the state championship that year. I'm like, this is my guy or gal, right? This is who I want. I want somebody who aligns with our core values. So making sure that you're asking the questions that are behavioral based are really important. So once you have that person and you make sure they're in the right seat, they get it, they want it, they have the capacity to do that role, then it's a matter of creating a remarkable onboarding process for them. So again, we leverage technology. We have our own learning management systems. We have 2 systems that we leverage to train our employees. They're not reading out of a manual. It's not paper. They're watching videos. They're answering questions on quizzes, so we know they're retaining the information.
They're actually tracked as they're learning, and you're going down through like an entire list of what software is that?
So we use 2 different ones. We built our own, and we call it Kaizenovation U.
Nice.
And then appropriate, right? Yeah. And then we use Thinkific, which is one of those, Kajabi, Thinkific. There are all these learning management systems out there that you can upload your own content, and then you can create quizzes and you can track people as they're learning. So
because what I can recall, one of the most stressful pieces in running a practice was like when you're losing an employee, like it's not just losing an employee, it's like the hiring and onboarding, and then the training is like, okay, someone's got to be pulled here, backfill there, do all that kind of stuff. So you've really closed that gap by leveraging this technology.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to have someone sitting there with a training manual with, the new onboard, right, the new employee. Now, that's not to say we don't do it. We do a lot of hands-on training.
Yeah.
Our new doctors will be training with our existing doctors. Our new CAs will be training with our existing CAs. So there's always going to be a lot of hands-on interaction, human interaction. But some of the core things like HIPAA training, OSHA training, how we leverage our intellectual property called Rehab 360. Some of that just needs to be learned by watching a video and downloading our cheat sheets and all of those things. So it makes us more efficient, it makes us more effective, and it ensures that we're actually getting the result that we're looking for in the training, because they have to take quizzes and they have to sign off that they've been trained, and the leader, the team leader, has to sign off that they've been trained as well. So that's another way that we engage our employees. And then there's ongoing engagement with our employees as well. We use another platform called Bonusly. Now, I'm sharing all these technology platforms, but it really isn't that expensive. And if you think about why technology is so important, again, making us more efficient and effective, the investment, the exponential return on the investment is a no-brainer, right? So Bonusly is a system where we actually reward people through points. It's gamification for employee engagement, and we reward people for doing great work. So anybody on the team can give points to another member of the team for doing something that aligns with one of our core values and or our mission statement. So our engagement rates, every single person on our team is giving a point or giving points to another individual at least 2.7 times per month. And they're receiving something at least 2.3 times per month on average.
It's just that fact that I'm winning.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, oh, somebody recognized my good work.
Yeah.
Side note, there's something called the Q12. It's an employee engagement survey. We run those every year. One of the questions on the survey that our team members have to answer is, in the last 7 days, I received recognition for doing good work in my company. 7 days.
Now, hold on. So that's coming automatically through this software, not like you going up to them and be like, good job, man.
Right, exactly. So,
woman.
Yeah, exactly. So, like the way that I do it, the way that I award my teammates is, every single Monday morning, I do what's called my Monday Morning Mojo email. Yeah. There's a theme for the week. And then at the end of that, I reward someone who actually exhibited the core values, the behaviors from the previous week's Monday Morning Mojo email. We call that the Monday Morning Mojo Master of the Week. And then they get points and they're recognized, and other people can add points on. But people are giving each other points regardless of whether I'm giving them points or not.
It's an interweb of winning.
Exactly.
I'm going to shift us to because this is just.
Can I just say one thing really quick?
A wealth of information here, but it is going to forward into our next topic. Yes, you can say something, but this is like a precursor to what we're going to talk about with my business adjustment.
Sure. 100%. But I just want to share, like, you've been sharing, the original question was you asking this question about patient engagement, right?
Yes. So
if you have a team that has been hired the right way, they've been onboarded the right way, they're engaged the right way through their experience, and we're also doing, regular trainings with them, they're much more likely to create a remarkable experience for our patients.
Totally.
They know we care about them. We want them to care about our patients. Those two things align. That's one of the biggest mistakes that leaders make in our field. They just haven't understood this concept. Exactly.
Early in my career, I don't think I got one employee out without them crying. So I definitely learned my lesson.
Me too, bro. You learn your lessons.
I curse on here. I don't know if we can, but I was such a dick.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn a lot about myself. So employee engagement equals better patient engagement, i.e. retention. So any other pieces or tidbits you can talk about with retention?
Yeah, again, I think just the last piece of that, which we kind of briefly touched on, was just, you want to make sure that you're training your people, ongoing. The training doesn't stop after they've quote unquote been onboarded. And I think when leaders give their team time, it's the greatest gift that you can give your team.
Yeah.
We're all running around, we're all super busy, but I know that if I'm giving my people time, whether it's my one-on-ones where I'm actually training them, they don't necessarily think of it as training, but I know I'm training them to think strategically, to think tactically, to overcome challenges, how to set goals properly, how to lead their team. It's a training session every single week. Or the mass trainings that we do, and we get everybody together and we bring in a speaker.
So the weekly trainings, are you actually going office to office, or are you doing this through Zoom?
Great question. So sometimes it's Zoom and sometimes it's office to office.
Obviously we've shifted our whole, because I'm with Genesis now, and I'm a remote employee. It's a weird thing.
Yeah,
it's a whole new thing. So
yeah, I mean the fact that COVID happened and Zoom became this thing actually has made us a lot more efficient and effective.
Totally.
But yeah, I do a combination of both.
4 offices, you can bring them, and it's time, it's money to bring them all together.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can just do it quickly through Zoom.
Tomorrow we have what's called our hackathon. We do it every single month with our doctors and our Director of Integrated Operations, Kat, and we're going to do it by Zoom. Like a lot of times we'll get together, we'll go to Top Golf and we'll hit golf balls and we'll talk shop, or Sometimes it's like business, man. We're just going to talk business. We've got some stuff we got to get done. Let's review the quarter. How do we do? What needs to get done next quarter moving forward? So we're doing it by Zoom, and then people can just go on their way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered like an overarch of efficiency through patient experience, through retention, through employee engagement.
Experience, yeah.
Right. So tell me about compliance. It's really not the sexiest of topics, but if we're not compliant, we're in deep water.
Yeah.
So how has Genesis helped you with compliance?
Well, I think the system is built to ensure that when we're providing a service to a patient and we are coding the services that we're providing, the system makes it extremely easy and effective to document the work that we're doing, whether it's managing the time for therapeutic exercise or therapeutic activities, or making sure that we're addressing the right code for the adjustments that we do and getting alerts if things don't add up based on the diagnosis and the code. Are they matching? Are they linked correctly? All of those efficiencies through technology make us more compliant. We do voluntary audits on our doctors every single quarter. So, so we use Chiro Armor, and every single quarter we send our notes and our bills to Scott Munsterman, and he reviews them and he grades them.
Yeah.
They get a numerical grade. So if you don't measure, you can't improve.
Right.
And so we have to have a quantifiable metric that says you're doing great or you're not doing great, and how did you do this time compared to last time?
This is your basic compliance score, which is critical for any office operating in today's insurance, even not in the insurance world, even if you're a cash practice and you're not compliant or you're just taking Medicare or PI. So the system, obviously, you and I know this through Genesis, that like it makes it easy to not do the wrong codes, or there's warnings everywhere that says, and they're red, and they're like, that user interface is critical because it's saying like, no, this time code does not match this exact CPT code for this modifier. So
exactly.
And all of your people have trained through this, or they're using those notes efficiently?
Oh yeah, I mean, it is extremely efficient. They are very happy with the platform, and I know that Genesis has just updated the patient portal, which is also a great way for accuracy and documentation. If the patient's coming in, they're documenting what's happening themselves in that history section, that subjective section. We don't have to translate it for them and then put it into the note. It just makes everything so much more effective and efficient. So our notes are like completely on point. Like I was talking to one of my doctors, Dr. Birch, the other day at our one-on-one, and he's like, yeah, Munsterman like told me that I was perfect on my audit. Perfect. And that's like not easy to do, right? When you've got somebody who's used to auditing a doctor, and like, I can't give you any better of a score. I can't tell you how to do better because you're perfect.
Yeah.
And the system allows us, the technology that you guys have built allows us to be perfect.
And it's so that the listeners who don't know this is millions of data points over the last 20 something years, all in the cloud. So with each state, with each insurance, with each carrier, all these data points are what the system is able to do automatically through artificial intelligence, which is brilliant.
It is brilliant.
You don't have to have a coder in the back office with stickies that say, Blue Cross Blue Shield does this, we got to send it. It's like that stuff is...
It's all inside the system.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of your technology.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else on you want to chat about with efficient? You know what? There's something that I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
If you're okay sharing this.
Yeah.
Six Sigma.
Sure.
I've seen you talk about it. I know you've studied it. I think you might have an MBA in it.
I don't have an MBA. I kind of wish I did, but I don't.
Me too. I'm ready to go next week, and we could sit in the front row together. Tell me if you can give me like a quick overview of Six Sigma.
Yeah.
I know that it might not necessarily be this place, but
no, this is cool. I love talking about this.
As a businessman.
Yeah, I love talking about it. So, let's just walk through a story. So, do you like steak?
I do like steak.
So, what's your favorite?
Grass-fed.
What's your favorite steakhouse?
Filet. Typically Roost Chris.
Roost Chris. Me too, bro. I love Roost Chris, right? So you go to Roost, you order your filet, and you order it medium rare. You like medium rare? Is that how you normally order it?
Yep.
So you order medium rare, and it comes out well done. What do you do?
I don't eat it. I talk to the waiter and have a conversation that, making sure that we had clear communication on the request of my medium rare steak and hope for an exchange.
Yeah. Okay. And so they bring you in.
Request an exchange.
Sure. Like we're respectful people. Yes. Right. Of course. So they bring you your steak medium rare, and you're good to go. You eat your steak. You're happy. Next time you go back, you order your steak medium rare, and it comes out mooing like it's raw.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Same thing.
Yeah,
Same thing.
send it back, and you bring it medium rare, and you're like, third time you go back, you order your steak medium rare, and it comes out, and it's sushi. What do you do?
Now I'm gonna have a talk with somebody.
Are you going back to that Ruth's Chris?
No,
Of course.
That's what I mean. It's like, God damn, I want to go to Ruth's Chris. I like it. It's right around the corner from my house. But
love Ruth's.
get it right, man.
Yeah. So when we have defects in any given process, it reduces customer loyalty, right?
Yes.
Your patients, our patients, they have an inconsistent experience. There's defects in the clinical process. There's defects in the financial process. Even in the marketing process, you're promoting one thing and you deliver something else.
Messages don't match.
Yeah. You're ordering your steak medium rare. It comes out completely different.
Yeah.
It eliminates customer loyalty. So what went wrong? Why did your steaks not come out correctly?
There could be a multitude of reasons.
Give me the reasons. This is the essence of Six Sigma.
Yeah, so the waiter wasn't paying attention.
Okay, so
Waiter, waitress was not
paying attention.
Wasn't present.
Sure.
The message didn't get through to the chef.
Poor communication. Yep.
Yep. The dial on the heater may be wrong.
Excellent. Yep. So either too high of a heat or too low, right?
It's just off. That's what comes to mind quickly.
Cooking too long, not cooking long enough.
Right, like the process of what's supposed to be done for that protocol.
Yes, but it's even deeper in the process, right? So when I'm speaking on stage and I ask this question and people raise their hand, they're like, well, they just weren't trained well, or they just didn't do it right. I'm like, I know they didn't do it right, but what specifically went wrong? And when you understand what specifically went wrong in a process, you can fix it. If you don't understand, if you can't critically think about that, then it's really hard to fix these process issues, and then they keep cropping up. So if the time is correct, the cooking time is correct, and the cooking temperature is correct, and it still comes out too well done or too rare, what else could have gone wrong? What else could have gone wrong?
It could have sat too long.
Could have sat too long. Excellent. How about the thickness of the steak?
Right, the cut before it even got there.
Right. So if the cut is inconsistent, then if it's too thick, it's going to come out rare. If it's too thin, it's going to come out more well done, even though the time and the temperature is correct. Six Sigma is a quality assurance methodology designed to control the 3 to 5 key variables in any given process to essentially guarantee the desired result. So if
time and time again.
Yeah, time and time again. So if you want your steak coming out medium rare, you better have a highly trained chef and staff. You better have perfect communication. You better have the right cooking time, the right cooking temperature, the right thickness of the steak, and the probability of you getting a steak medium rare every single time is 99.99966% correct. Right? So that's what Six Sigma is. It's literally the bell curve of process variability. And I won't geek out too much because I don't want to like freak out the audience, right?
This is good high levels.
But essentially, if you have process issues and you can drill down to those 3 to 5 key variables that are going wrong, that's how you fix them. The flip side of that coin is if you're trying to achieve a goal and you're not getting there, what is wrong in your process that's preventing you from achieving that goal? So that is Six Sigma in a nutshell.
Awesome, I love it, and it brings to mind. And I was working on shutting up my own mind by listening to you, but the word integrity, meaning like just workability of a system, not like, and where I'm going to apply this in my days with Genesis, where I would tell a patient, yeah, I'm going to send you an article on nutrition or fatty acids or this exercise. But then by the time the end of the shift ended, I forgot about that. But so then, the workability of the system was like, okay, there's a task. Now I can follow up with the task. So now we're looking at all these potential holes within that system, and I guess I was applying it without, but I'm looking at that workability or integrity. So that was awesome.
Yeah, and the task workflow that's built in Genesis is like a perfect example of how to manage process so those variables don't go awry. Now, when you're dealing with humans, sometimes humans can make a mistake. The task can fire, but the process wasn't carried out correctly, or the task wasn't carried out correctly. But that's training and development and or right person, right seat. So
that allows you to actually manage your business. So
exactly.
This is leveraging technology, not just for a dream practice, but for actually managing the business of it. So,
yeah.
Yes.
I want to share a couple other things because you asked a question and I'm an ADD person, so you can thanks for bearing with me.
Yes.
But
I'll bear with you all day, brother.
You asked a question about like patient experience, and I started with employee experience, and I also mentioned that we leverage the book Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman. we implemented steps in Joey's book for the employee experience and then the patient experience as well. So there's 8 steps in the customer journey. And so what we did is we said, okay, in these 8 steps, how do we create a remarkable experience for our employees, inclusive of the things that I talked about, right? The recruiting and hiring, the onboarding and the ongoing training. And then we also translated Joey's book to the patient experience as well. So I didn't want the audience to think that I forgot about that. If you read Joey's book, or even if you don't read Joey's book, but you find two or three things that you can do that's going to create a more remarkable experience for your patients. One way to find out like what that might look like is just asking them, doing a focus group, doing surveys. Then I think you're going to be on the right track. Speaking of surveys, there's something called the Net Promoter Score. If you're not surveying your patients using the Net Promoter Score, I think the docs are missing out. It's one question: how likely are you to refer a friend or family member to our practice? 9s and 10s are promoters. 0 through 6s, they hate you. Okay, they hate you. 7 and 8s are satisfied, but like they're not right. The Net Promoter Score is the percentage of people that give you 9s and 10s minus the percentage of people that give you 0 through 6s. That is your Net Promoter Score. Anything that's 50 or above is considered good. 70 and above is considered world class.
So is that going out to all of your new patients?
Every single month, our patients get a Net Promoter Score. We measure it every single month.
So then you're looking at a monthly Net Promoter Score.
We are. It's part of our scorecard.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you have a monthly scorecard for everything that
we have. All of our KPIs are measured on a scorecard every single week by using something called Bloom Growth, which is another technology platform that manages what's called our level 10 meetings.
Through Traction.
Through Traction.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes. We use that as well at Genesis. And,
yep.
And we're also implementing, this is a precursor to some awesome abilities to do reporting and things like that through Genesis. That's in the pipeline coming up.
That's great.
So we have really good dashboards that are coming up for you.
I can't wait.
So this has been awesome. Thank you again. I love these conversations. And if you guys like this, guys and gals, if you're enjoying Dr. J and our conversation and you're getting these pearls of wisdom, just please comment below. We'll make sure that we mention all the software that we talked about, leveraging technology, and this is what we got for Genesis Nation. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.